Nope. There it is. Made it just look like I had 8 chins there. That's what happens when you get old and fat. So, minimum wage. Let's talk about it. Let's do that, right? Let's talk about some minimum wage. Minimum wage, the federal level, or whatever you want to call it, is $7.25 an hour. Now in 2014. I have some notes here. 23 states are above that. 23 states have a state minimum wage above the $7.25 an hour. That's more than the 18 states that are at the $7.25 an hour. And there are only 3 that are below that. We also need to include the 5 states that don't even fucking have a minimum wage. So that says a lot. You know, our government says minimum wage should be $7.25. That's what our standard is, and 23 states have it above it. 18 states are at it. That's a very good percentage of our states. And there's only 3 below that. And then you have the 5 that don't have it at all. So I think that's good. That's actually really good. So let's talk about minimum wage. Right now it's $7.25 an hour. I'm 39 years old. When I graduated high school in 1993, minimum wage was $4.25 an hour. So, doing the math for inflation, that $4.25 an hour today would be $6.97. That means our minimum wage this year is above, well, yeah, it's above the inflation rate. So, not by much, and minimum wage does suck, but that says a lot too. That says that we're not fucking anybody, we're not shafting them, we're saying it's pretty much the same now as it was 22 years ago. So, that's not a bad thing, right? If people 21, 22 years ago could do it, why can't you do it today? Well, today's world is a little different. You know, let's talk about that. I think back when I was a kid, a lot of families didn't have both parents working. Well, today, I don't know of any families. I don't personally know of any families, you know, people where both husband and wife are still married and have kids. I don't know any of them where that both parents don't work. Whether that be they both have full-time jobs, or they both have part-time jobs, or vice versa, mix it up, mix and match, or maybe the wife or the husband just has some side shit, you know, whatever. Both parents are working. So that's more money coming into a family, I think, than it was when I was a kid. So we could talk about that. I think that has a lot to do with just people wanting more shit. You know, I gotta have the new iPad and the iPhone every fucking year. So I'm tangenting here. That's a word I just made up, tangenting. So let's talk about me and why I think that these McDonald's workers going on strike and holding rallies to have minimum wage doubled, more than doubled, to $15 an hour is absolutely absurd. I'm just going to use myself as an example. I have been in the same job for over 19 and a half years. I'd say I am a mid to lower upper management position, I guess you could say, and so much more goes into my job. But that's what I would say. I am in charge of anywhere from 10 to 70 people, depending on the day, depending on where I'm at and what I'm doing, and I'm in charge of them. They report to me, and then I report up. That's how it works. I've been doing this job, like I said, for 19 and a half years, and I've moved up in position. I didn't start where I am. And it's okay. I enjoy it sometimes. I think the pay is good. So let's talk about my pay. I work an average of 60 to 65 hours a day, or hours a week, excuse me. And I used 64 as the thing here. Going off of a 4-week month for work, because I don't get paid hourly, which I know it's different, but I'm trying to do the math here. I don't get paid hourly, but going off of a 4-week month and those hours, I would make $15.79 an hour if we figured out my hourly wage for how many hours I work in a month. $15.79 an hour. Well, the first thing I say to that is I'm grossly underpaid, right? I am underpaid for what I do, and I knew that. Yet that would only be 79 cents more than what these people that want a union would be expecting to get $15 an hour. That would cripple our economy if that was to happen. Minimum wage isn't meant to fucking live off of. And this is the argument that I can't fucking understand. They're saying, well, that's not enough. You know, the however much money it is, $15,000 a year, that's below the standard, or maybe it's $14,000 in the standards. I don't fucking know what it is. That's below the standard for a 2-person household. That's poverty level. It's a fucking minimum wage job. Holy shit. You're not meant to support a goddamn family off of a fucking minimum wage job. Not off of one of them. I know people working 3 goddamn jobs to make ends meet. That's not new. I knew people working 3 goddamn jobs back when I was fucking 18 years old. It's not a new fucking concept. It's not new at all. We are making more per inflation at minimum wage than we did 21 years ago. Why does it need to change? It doesn't. Minimum wage doesn't fucking need to change. It doesn't need to change at all. It's meant for fucking 16-year-old goddamn kids working a fucking job. Minimum wage isn't meant for you to work a 40 to 60 hour work week at the same fucking place. It's not what it's meant to be. 20 to 30 hours, maybe you're working 2 of them, and it's a part-time minimum wage job. You're working because you've never fucking worked before in your life. You have 0 fucking experience. You don't have a fucking high school degree or fucking college degree. Yet you want a job. So this person is going to pay you the minimum to do this fucking shit fucking job. Go make those burgers. Go sweep that fucking floor. Go clean up the fucking bathroom that somebody just puked in. Go be a bar back at a fucking bar and move boxes around and make sure the hottie bartender has enough fucking beer in the fridge. That's minimum wage. That's not what needs to change. What needs to change is it's going to sound bad. What needs to change is the upper 1% that we have in this country that are all about profits and nothing else. You know, the partnership ownership program that McDonald's has with its owners is probably absurd. I haven't read it, but I can tell you that I guarantee that an owner of a fucking McDonald's isn't making anywhere near even a slight percentage of what the owners of McDonald's are making. Well, it's America. That's the way it works. I get that. But the profit margin is probably goddamn absurd. And there's probably a lot of fucking wiggle room in there for McDonald's to give, to not take as much in profits and to give more back. Just my thought. I think you could probably say that about any giant corporation like that. You could say it about any chain, restaurant, or store, or service. the upper echelon of that company or corporation is making fucking bank. They're just fucking raking it in. And they're not doing shit to get that money. They're letting other people work for them. That's how it works. You know, I can't go and buy a location and start up a fucking burger joint because I'm probably not going to make it. Because McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's have that shit cornered unless I want to go to a Five Guys or a Hodad's or, you know, if anybody eats burgers at Red Robin, I fucking feel sorry for you. Or fucking Cheeseburger in Paradise. Those are horrible. Fucking horrible. Those aren't cheeseburgers. But you get my point. They have the market cornered and they're making bank. So that ownership program, and I think any place that has that sort of program with chains needs to be looked at by the government with an outside eye, and they need to be revamped, because I do think that there are definitely people working some jobs that should get paid more money. I think there are people working 40-hour work weeks and they aren't getting the benefits and pay that they should be getting. But that's not to say that a fucking 16-and-a-half-year-old kid who just wants fucking gas money to drive mom's fucking car and take a chick to a fucking movie on Friday needs to be making $15 an hour for the 22 hours he works at a fucking local McDonald's. It's absurd. There's no need for it, and it's going to make, anytime I want to go buy a goddamn Big Mac, it's going to cost twice as much fucking money to buy it than it does now. It's absurd. That's my rant over.